the story about a young girl who was really loved by her father. He would buy her sweets and jewelry, and then he took her on the Hajj,
Mhm.
and which, for those that don't know, that's the pilgrimage that every Muslim is to make in their lifetime, one of the five pillars of Islam. Um, but describe what happened in this situation and really why you included it in the book, because I think most Westerners are already like, this is so crazy, this is so different. I mean, a glass, come on. And they're looking at it through a very individualistic lens, but they're not understanding the cultural context when everyone around you holds that similar view. It can be overwhelming, and
Mhm.
and it can conform them very, very quickly. But just describe that situation and what happened, and then why you really wanted that to be included in the book.
Well, the way that she told the story when I heard it is she was walking along with her father in a very, very, very tight crowd. And suddenly they came to a square in Mecca. In Mecca. Yes. I'm not exactly sure, but I think that she was in her early teens. I want to say she was around 12 or 13 years old. And she was so they're in this tight crowd in Mecca, and they come up to a ruckus. There's just a lot of noise being made, and there's an opening in the square, and they are some men are about to behead a young woman. And her father, instead of putting her behind him like we would probably want to do here in the West to keep our children from seeing something like that, he took her hand and he pushed her forward and said, I want you to watch and learn so this will not be you one day. And he made her watch. And the woman's infraction, the woman who was beheaded, her infraction was was spending time with a man, and it was no crime what she had done, but she was killed for it. And the reason I included this story was because my friend was sharing it out of love for her father. And you may think I'm crazy when I say this, but bear with me a moment. Her father was a generous, kind, devout, godly man. He was taking his daughter on the Hajj. That in itself illustrates his commitment to
Mhm.
seeking righteousness through the means that he understood he could try that through Islam. And so he was doing what he could. And but he was showing her that, so almost as a cautionary tale, my daughter, this is what happens to girls who shame their families. This is what happens to those who do not bear their burden of honor well for
Mm.
themselves, their family, their community, their nation, their religion. Do not be like her.
Mm.
Do not be like her. And when she shared the story, she shared it in the context of her father's love and his sincere, misguided um, idea of what it meant for her to be righteous, to
Mm.
follow all these rules. Her as a girl, her as a young woman, as a future wife who would be carrying the honor burden for her culture, for her group.
Mm.